Okay, yeah, welcome everyone. So, like I said, agenda for today is just quickly guiding you on uh, preparing better resumes because out of 200 resumes that we received, almost 100 of them needed some kind of rework. So that's the main agenda. And again, I got a different type of comments. Some of you said that you are in depression. Some of uh, and ask for guidance on how to navigate through current landscape. So I'll talk a bit about that. What do companies actually look for, and how do you get your resume shortlisted? Because a lot of people said that their resumes are not getting shortlisted, right? So we'll address that problem. And at the end, we'll talk about the trainings that we are going to start from the next month, next week. So yeah, I'll quickly go over that as well. Okay. Yeah. So hey everyone, my name is Rahul, and as so I have more than 10 years in yeah. Anybody saying anything? Okay. So yeah, this will be an interactive session. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Okay. I won't be able to watch chat window too much, so it would be better if you unmute yourself and ask. Okay. So yeah, just some basic rules. Just keep yourself on mute if you're not talking, and if you don't have a question, and ask question, probably ask questions at the end of the each section or each topic. Okay. Yeah, just try not to interrupt like when I'm talking about a specific topic. Okay. And yeah, this is what I always tell my students. Yeah, like feel free to ask for infinite number of repeats. Like don't be shy that I didn't get it in the first time, I didn't get it in the second time, why should I ask again, right? So don't feel shy of that. Yeah, you will also force me to like explain something in many different ways if you ask for repeats. So don't worry about that. Okay. And finally, don't call me sir. I'm still in my 30s, and uh, I'm still young. I don't like being called sir. So just call me Rahul. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll start now. So first of all, can somebody tell me like why do people get fired? Or maybe a better question would be why do companies hire in the first place? Yeah, quickly unmute yourself and please let's make it interactive. So you can use chat window also, but yeah, I will not be looking at the chat window all the time. Right? There are 22 people apart from me.
Hi Rahul. So
Hey,
yeah, so I would say that companies hire when there is a requirement for a particular project. So
wrong answer.
okay.
Guess more. Second
Okay.
guess. Somebody else.
Yeah, so I believe the needs of the company changes. The particular project is not profitable to them, so that is why they
Yeah, that's
hire.
true. That's true. So, yeah, but the question was why do companies hire, right? Yeah, I think you are right. So basically, companies hire to make money, right? At the end of the day, it's all about business, right? It's all about money. At the end of the day, it's all about profit, right? So, rightly said that companies will fire or hire based on their profitable needs, right? So some parts of the business or some technologies, some projects will not be making money, and some will be making money, right? And some uh, they'll speculate that maybe the AI is the future, and they'll invest more in the AI research, right? That's why Google and Amazon are firing heavily right now, right? So companies have investors to answer, like even big companies like Google have investor, right? Even Tesla has investor. Every company has one or more board of members or investors, so they need to answer them, right? They need investors have invested in the company to make money. At the end of the day, it is the job of the company to make money, right? So it's never emotional. Like people get emotional. I got fired after 10 years. I got fired after 15 years. At the end of the day, you need to be mature enough to understand from day one that a person or a business will pay you 1 rupee only when they earn 5 rupees from you. Okay, always remember this throughout your life, right? So first of all, you should have some virtues or skills in yourself so that you can make money for the company, right? People will hire you only when you make money for them. And if you're not able to make money for them, if they can't earn 5 rupees from you, they'll fire you, right? They'll not pay you that 1 rupee. Okay. So another question: does your electrician, plumber, doctor fear firing? Answer is no, right? Why? Quickly. Yeah, just unmute. Answer quickly.
Because they are not bound to
Oh,
one
somebody's
particular
saying to
person.
increase phone size. Sorry about that. Is it better? Yeah, go ahead. Can you please repeat? I couldn't hear you. Voice was very low.
Because they are not bound to any one particular person who is there, like any, I'm not getting that word, because they're not bound to one particular person who is paying them. They have multiple sources of income as well.
But not a very good answer. But yeah, I'll maybe what you are trying to say, I'll tell that. So they have a ready market available, first of all, right? Uh, think of tomorrow, maybe somebody invents a robot, right, which does the electrician work for you. Then uh, people won't hire electricians, right? So yeah, but that is not feasible. I'm just speculating if those kind of robots are available, right? But there is a ready market available, first of all, and these are all actually entrepreneurs in a sense, right? Because they are the businessman in themselves. They are the owner themselves, right? So that is the other keyword to watch there. They are kind of small entrepreneurs, you can say, right? Doctors are small entrepreneurs. So when the doctor starts practice, when he opens his first clinic, initially every doctor would have struggled, right? First few years, right? But eventually they make money, right? And when they make money, it's rains, like money literally rains, right? On doctors. So uh, basically they are entrepreneurs in a sense, right? That's the keyword. So yeah, just hold on to these facts. We'll discuss them later. Okay, so first of all, why are companies firing now? Because the current technology landscape is changing. Okay, so again, this for what I'm suggesting is mostly through my experience, what I'm watching in the market. The current technology landscape, I don't think anybody can disagree. Is the AIML is the thing, right? Since last couple of years, GAN was hit, which is generative adversarial networks, which came out of through NVIDIA research, and now even higher tech is there, right? LLM, which is a large language model, like GPT-3. A few days back, GPT-4 was released, which is like literally it will kill all of us, right? It will take all our jobs. Uh, that's being feared. It can actually code like coders, right? If you read about it. So, and nobody knows what will happen, but yeah, once LLM and GAN get combined, I think then even more powerful AI models will be there. But see, there's a opportunity also hidden here. Even if you don't like AIML, or you don't know, you are not in that domain, there are other complementary domains which support AIML, which will not die, right? Like first one being cloud tech, because to run AIML, you need a lot of computation, right? So all that computation, data centers won't die, right? Data center technology, chip technology, cloud technology, all these technologies are not going anywhere, right? So if you are invested in these technologies, uh, these are the technologies on which companies are hiring. Okay, so all the big organizations right now, they are moving from the old legacy. They're upgrading or moving from legacy on-prem systems to cloud, right? So and cloud technologies. So like Golang, I know a lot of companies are like rewriting their stuff from Java to Golang. And hardly out of 200 resumes that I got, I think hardly 5 or 6 resumes mentioned Golang. I don't know why you guys are not learning Golang. There are so many opportunities. I have been working in Golang since last 3 years. My company is hiring right now. They are hiring in Golang. Okay. So yeah, though there's just one position, and that's a senior position. That's another thing. But not a lot of companies are hiring right now, right? But I know that my company is still hiring, and they are hiring in Golang. Okay. So these kind of technologies are not going anywhere. So you need to upgrade your skill set towards what the market demands. This is, yeah, this particular IT domain is like that, right? You will always have to keep on upgrading yourself. And finally, if you are electronics engineer, like companies like Intel or all those chip fabrication companies, those are not going to go anywhere, right? Even that chip validation and all that companies are not going to go anywhere. Even rather, they will actually get a boost in business. Okay. And finally, last comment, a lot of companies are now moving from a waterfall model to not a lot, every company, I would say, almost everyone I see is now working in a Scrum kind of role or Agile kind of environment. So what does Scrum and Agile mean? Okay. So Scrum and Agile is a, uh, so I'm sure a lot of you would have studied software engineering, right? So you know about waterfall model where you develop like Windows software is developed, right? You release one version of Windows in a year, so it's a waterfall kind of thing will work there. But now everybody is going towards distributed applications, microservice-based architecture. So it's a continuous development environment, right? So you work in a sprints, and you the whole team has to like quickly do all the things. Like every member of the team has to be a QA. Every member of the team has to be the DevOps. Every member of the team has to be the developer, right? So now companies demand people who are cross-functional. So what is cross-functional? That means that you are Superman. You are all-rounder. You know coding. You are dev. You are tester. Uh, you are DevOps, and you are also a lot of other things, right? So mm, this is what companies demand now, that you should know everything, right? So a lot of there were few resumes, testing resumes. Testing as a is mostly dying. Like lot of like test engineers are the ones those are getting fired or hammered a lot. Since last 5 years, I'm seeing companies are firing uh, testing positions. Okay, so yeah, reskill yourself. For testers, a good idea might be to go into DevOps. It's easy for you guys to. A lot of testing folks are like reskilling them in DevOps roles. Okay, so yeah, this is another thing. So I'll talk a little bit more about this in the next section. Okay, so tips on what you should do, how to navigate the current situation that you are in. First of all, you need to become a cross-functional engineer, which is all-rounder, right? So you need to first of all understand what are the skills you need to gather, because just putting C or just putting Java on your resume won't cut it. Okay, so I'll talk more about it. So don't worry about this. So another thing, you need to understand a holistic view of technology. So what I mean by holistic view, you think of general physician, right? Uh, so do you know, right? There are specialist doctors, and then there's a general physician. General physician is the one who knows, who can like diagnose anything in your body, right? He knows about whole body. He might not be expert of anything, but he's a jack of all trades, right? So same thing, you need to like if you want to grow in IT, you need to have a holistic view of technology and computers. You need to understand anything and everything about computers. Like you can, you need to be aware of what tech is going on, right? So if somebody throws a keyword like Apache Spark, Apache Flink, or let's say from the mobile technologies, what's the latest Flutter? If do you know about these terms that I'm telling about? Like these are all different technologies. Flutter is the latest in like mobile development for hybrid mobile development. Spark and Flink are streaming engines, right? Stream processing engines. So you need to know about all these terms. It's okay. I'm not asking you to do a course on Spark or Splunk, but if somebody utters a term, you should be able to understand it. So how do you get this kind of view? By reading these terms. Like you should like kind of read through Hacker News, which is a blog site. Slashdot is again a blog site. So these, if you keep on reading articles like every day instead of newspaper, if you open just these ones for 10 minutes every day, you'll start seeing all these terms. If you see any term, you just go to Wikipedia or Google it, right? So you'll learn. So, or even just go to job sites, see what they are hiring for, right? So at least you get yourself familiar with what is going on in the world, right? And that is one part of it. Another part is like I said, like a general physician, you need to understand everything, like everything what is going on. If I am not a AI/ML engineer, right? But I understand how AI/ML works, right? That is the kind of if somebody is explaining me how what model he is training, what are layers in the model, what is what are all those terms in AI/ML. I'm still aware of this. I'm not like a I understand all those terms. So that's what I mean by having a holistic view of the technology. That you should understand everything in computers, like how uh, anything works, how internet works, how how what happens when I'm like clicking something on my app, right? What happens when I submit a transaction on my browser, right? You should, at least I'm not, you can't know anything in absolute details, right? But at least you at a top level, basic level, you understand what is going on, right? That level of understanding you need to develop. Okay, so and finally start viewing skills as a toolbox. So again, this is related to so again, our job is, as a IT engineers is more like plumbers and engineers or doctors only, right? So uh, okay, I'll give you an example, right? So I have been a Perl in like I've been a Perl coder, like as a hobby, or during the college days I used to code in Perl. All my projects were in Perl. And at Oracle I worked out of the 12 years, no, 10 years, 12 years of my career. Out of that, 8 years I was in Java domain and 4 years I've been in Go. I've never worked in Python, right? But all the interviews that I gave were always in Python. Why? Because the Python is the best tool for the job. Python is the best tool for giving interviews because Python code is so concise. You can easily write code within limited time, right? So it's a concise code, right? So that's the best tool for the job. So it is okay. Even during interviews, I tell them, ki, you can ask me whatever you want. Even face-to-face interviews, ki, I'll prefer writing code in Python because it is a best tool for this. And people don't mind. They allow me. Even though it's a Go interview, I do write code in Python only because they understand, right? Ki, uh, I tell them, you can ask me anything in Go. You can test me on Go, but I'll prefer to write my code in Python. People don't mind that, right? So yeah, you need to start viewing your skills as the tools in the toolbox. You can't like put Java everywhere, right? You need to put Java where Java is good. You need to put Python where Python is good. You need to use Go where Go is good, right? So you need to first understand like what are the different tools in the toolbox. Like why do you need to learn like many languages? And you need to actually become like a Neo. So how many of you not watched Matrix? There is an option to actually raise hands in Zoom. So maybe you can raise hand if you haven't watched Matrix movie. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands, so either you are not able to find how to raise hands or you've actually not watched Matrix movie. Okay, so one guy. So just go and watch Matrix movie. It's a fabulous movie, and probably in some days, a Matrix scenario might get played with GPT-4 around. Okay, so yeah, you need to understand what is going on. So Joe, yeah, homework for you. Go watch Matrix tonight. Anyways, so those who have watched, they'll understand what I'm saying, right? You see in the first part of Matrix, you see Neo loading cartridges, right? He puts a cartridge immediately. He loads the kung fu program. He learns kung fu. He loads the helicopter pilot program. He learns a flying helicopter, right? So that is what you need to be like to become good engineers. Like you should understand what tools are there. There's Apache Spark, there's Apache Flink. This is the toolbox, okay? And out of those toolbox, you can pick any tool whenever required and you can quickly use it. That is the actual skill that is needed in good engineers. They should be like quick learners. If I tell my team member, ki, if I, that's what I expect like from my team members. Ki, I'm telling you, ki, you have to use this. Take 1 day, 2 days, learn it, and third day you have to start using it. That's how we work, right? That's how the technology is moving. And the All these things, technology that you see, are actually tools. So now if you go back to your resume and if you think, "Bhai, I've just put hammer in my resume, somebody has put just screwdriver in the resume, will somebody hire him?" Answer is clear no, right? Because you've just put one, you've just brought a screwdriver to the job, right? You need a whole toolkit, man, right? So that will not work. So you need to learn multiple languages, become a polyglot developer, and you need to learn all these tools. Like, what are different kind of databases? There are 5 types of databases. In each type, there might be like 2 or 3 vendors, right? RDBMS, Postgres, MySQL is important. um, caching databases, Redis is important, right? Graph databases, ArangoDB, Neo4j is going on. Then I talk about analytics databases, ClickHouse is there, right? NoSQL, Mongo is there, right? So I'm not saying learn everything, but at least know, right? There are 5 types of databases, when to use which one, and which are like top databases in each one of them. Maybe I'll do a 1 hour course for each one of them. Maybe I'll just read a tutorial on each one of them. Maybe I'll just read Wikipedia page for each one of them, right? So that's what you need to do. Okay. So third, very good resource, very good learning resource, which I have used all my 12 years of my career, is LinkedIn Learning. Previously, it was called Linda. They have very good courses, small 1-2 hour courses, good enough to get you started. Okay, so it's always a good idea to watch, learn like everything of one type, like 5 types of databases I told. Learn at least one market leader in each one. Do a 1 hour course from LinkedIn for each one of them. Put all 5 in your resume. Okay, so that's how you need to work. Okay, fake it till you make it. So even if you have not worked on something, like gaps in the resume don't look good, right? A single screwdriver or hammer in the resume doesn't look good. So you need to fake it till you make it. As in, you need to do some fake uh, uh, projects. So one very good tip I'll give you, if right now also, if you are unemployed, if you got laid off, so what you can do is you can just say that I'm doing my own startup. Just start your own project, give it some good name, put up a website or app, and say 1 year I was doing my own startup, right? That's a positive way to fill up the gap in your resume. You have 2 years gap somewhere uh, previously in your career, and you're concerned about that. You want to fill it up, right? So just work on some project for a month or two. Uh, think of some business idea, think of some problem that you see in the market, solve that, and then just fake it like your own startup, right? So that's how you can actually fill in the gaps in your resume. Okay, so this I already talked. Reskill yourself as the latest market demand and start building. So yeah, that's the most important thing. You need to build something. You learn stuff only when you build something. Okay, very important tip that I'll talk about next. Uh, is the what I consider a good engineer. When I do interviews, I have, like, in my current job, taken more than 100 interviews. I have interviewed even the Stanford and CMU guys. So I have for the US team as well. I lead a team both in India and US. So I take a lot of interviews. So I don't look for all these things. Even if somebody is not like able to solve a problem, Go, Python, these are secondary. The important things, not just me, I'm not just talking about myself. Even my director, I take interviews, and then the second round my director will take. He'll also see the same thing. We'll discuss the same thing. How was the attitude of the student, like of the candidate? Attitude. What do you mean by the attitude? Is whether he felt sincere or not. Uh, as in on the job, whether he'll be sincere. If I give him some task, he'll be take the responsibility or not, right? So you need to be sincere first of all, right? So sincere, uh, whether he has a good attitude or not, whether he seems like a quick learner or not, whether he's a smart guy, smart person or not, right? Smartness comes from this, having the whole uh, understanding of the toolbox, right? Whether he's a quick debugger or not, right? If I twist the problems, whether he's able to create the logics for them or not. Okay, sorry, not I'm talking about the problem solver. So what I mean by, again, debugging. So you can do like tons of courses, but you will not learn debugging in that. You will learn debugging only when you start building, when you do something, some practical work of yourself. So my profile is unique, as in the sense, okay, I'll tell you about myself. I did my BTech from a private college, and I was an average student, always 70% kind of student. And I did my master's from IIT Kharagpur, okay, and I was a 9-pointer at IIT. And during my BTech, like it was the exams were like hell. Like you had to like, we used to study only on the last day, and like it was whole chaos. Like we hardly slept, 4 hours sleeping, and then going to exam, just mugging up the book on the last day, right? It was so stressful. The exams were so stressful, right? At the BTech time. During IIT, exams were always a breeze. There was a thin register where we used to make class notes, and that's all that you that's all that you had to study for exams. And the exams are like 30% of the work. 70% of the work was the actual assignments, which used to kill us. Like entire like week, we used to like not sleep. Throughout the semester, there'll be like so large assignments, and you can't skip assignments. If you skip assignments, like professors give you a very bad grade, right? So that's how like IIT or good institutes in India like BITS and IITs work. They not just India, US universities also, or all the foreign universities work on the same pattern, that they are assignment driven. There's a lot of practical work that you do during in the college itself. That is why when you go to industry, you don't fear anything. So same thing happened with me when I was in my master's final year project. I made a image search engine similar to like what you see in uh, this images.google.com, right? So you take an image and you take some keywords and you will do a image search on that, right? So that was a very big problem. Like, but within a year I was able to solve it, and it it was a big problem, but you solve it by like step by step, right? Breaking the big problem into like 10 small steps, 10 smaller sub projects, right? So that kind of gave me a lot of confidence that I could crack anything. And when I joined Oracle, I wasn't liking the work there. I was not a Java engineer. I loved Perl. So I just started a hobby project of my own. First 6 months in Oracle was very depressing for me. So I joined in June 2010, and by December 2010, as a New Year resolution, I thought that I had some startup ideas. So I thought I'll start working on them. So I had an idea that I wanted to do a local price comparison. So that time, like e-commerce was not that booming. It was just starting out. Flipkart was selling books at that time. So I thought, why not just start with the online price comparison, because local price comparison needed a lot of groundwork, research, operations team. So I didn't have that resources. So I was sitting on that idea for almost a year. So I said, New Year resolution, I'll start working on this in Perl, right? And just a hobby project. I started working from like a second job in that particular project, and worked on, believe it or not, every day from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. I used to code. Uh, Not just code, like I will do everything and anything for that project, right? 8 p.m. to 3 p.m. That was like night job for me, right? 11 months I took. In Diwali 2011, I launched the site, and it was just a hobby project. So the site is not live anymore, but it was competing neck to neck with my smart price at that time. Okay, and within 6 months, I was earning more than my Oracle salary. Within a year, I was earning 3 times my Oracle salary. And we actually I brought in a co-founder, and I set up a 6 people team also. We had a small office also. I was working at Oracle, and I was having my own office also. So I ran that company for 5 years. Though in 2 years we got hit by Google search engine update. So yeah, that company couldn't survive. We tried to do B2B and all other stuff. We put in a fight for some time, but that was the best time of my life. And it was not about money. It was about the journey, the learning that you got, right? I used to talk to like all the big people. I used to go to Flipkart office to give presentations to their affiliate team. So think about a guy working in Oracle and going out and giving presentations in Flipkart and having his own office. Like I was on cloud nine at that time, right? So why I'm telling you all these things, because why uh, it worked for me, because I was first of all doing what I loved, right? Even though I was not doing what I loved at Oracle, but at least at night I was doing what I loved. It was just a hobby project, right? So um, what I learned through is that I got to learn all these skills, right, early on in my career. Uh, like when I used to run crawling like 3 times a day, a single machine didn't scale. At that time, like container, Docker and Kubernetes was not there. So I had to like set up 3 VMs. Even AWS cloud was not there in 2011. So I had to like write my own custom message queue to like somehow interact between, synchronize between 3 servers and all that. So that's how learning by doing is the concept, right? That's how you learn all those things when even or those things were the technologies was not there. So that I'm going to come to the next thing, which was why I was telling you the story. That what is needed is genuine is interest, first of all, right? Find quickly what you love. This is the most important thing. Another thing, a lot of people told me that they are in depression. So I already have some of you ping me on WhatsApp also that you are depressed and you need help. I've given you some guidance, but I have gone through depression myself. So I had a breakup 4 years back, and it was like I was on the verge of suicide. That kind of a depression. The way I pulled myself out of that was through this book, Thich Nhat Hanh's Miracle of Mindfulness. Very good book. If you just go to Amazon Audible, which is Amazon's audiobook platform, go to a park, which is like very green, and just listen to this book. Just sit there or walk slowly and just listen to this book. You'll get out of depression. I'm telling you, I did it. So just go for an hour, like for a month in a park, just to listen to this book on repeat. Okay. So this book will automatically take you out of depression. So it doesn't teach you like meditation. See, meditation is not actually sitting in a room closing your eyes. Meditation is anything that you do with full awareness, right? So you can be watching your favorite movie or favorite TV series. That is also meditation. You are coding with full immersion. That is also meditation. You're playing game with full immersion. That is also kind of meditation only. You go to an scenic place, you are traveling, you are just like your mouth gaps open, like you see something very beautiful. That is also meditation, right? So it is the same concept. So they in this book they have talked about something, a concept of walking meditation, which I really liked. So you can try that. Okay. So you can read this book, and other thing that you need is flow. Like whenever you have mindfulness and flow, and you are like doing something like fully focused for quite some time, you'll start going into modes of flow. I can recall that I used to go in flow in all the time when I used to code for my company, my startup, right? So if you go to this level, the flow level, then everything in your life will start working, right? So try these things also. Okay. So for flow, there's a book called Ikigai, a very small book. Again, it is there on Audible also, or you can find all these books for free also if you Google. So just read these books. If you or at least listen to these books. That's what I do when I'm cycling or when I'm like walking. I actually put on my audiobooks. And finally, what you need is a lot of hard work. Okay. So I'm coming to the resume tuning section. Just hold on for a minute. Okay. So few more things that I want to talk about. How you call yourself a good IT engineer checklist. Okay. So this is a checklist for you. So you can put your resume, or you don't even need a resume. You can just answer yourself, right? So can you call yourself a general physician in computer science? Do you understand all the end to end everything what is going on? If any uh, kid in your neighborhood asks you, or maybe kid in your family asks you anything about computers, how it goes end to end, you should be able to at least on a basic layman level explain what is going on inside a computer, right? For how does program get compiled, how does program run, right? How does a web what happens when you click from here, and how do you get the response? What happens? What is the journey of that packet all the way to the server and coming back? All these things you should be able to answer and understand, right? Do you teach technology? Do you treat technology as a toolbox? How well you understand your toolbox? So um, uh, this is another question, like self introspection question for you. Do you understand most tech in the space? Like whatever is going on, do you understand all that tech? Are you a cross-functional engineer? Do you know how to set up CI/CD pipelines? Do you know how to do basic DevOps as an engineer? Do you know what is Kubernetes? Do you know what is Docker? Do you know how to write test cases in whatever language you are, whatever language you have put on your resume. Okay, so yeah, that's how you test yourself, right? And how quickly you can switch roles or uh, within your company or within across companies, right? So I'll give you an example of real life example. My manager got fired at Oracle. Okay, and why why we or like most people in my team got laid off, because this was 5 years back actually. So because we used to work on a legacy product, and the company was moving to a cloud version or SaaS version of that product. The product we worked on was mostly a monolithic product. It was a very successful company. That particular product had a $1 billion revenue in Oracle, believe it or not. Still, the company was shutting that product down. Okay, so because they were moving to the cloud version, and then cloud version was in Go, right? So the older version was in Java. So nobody within Oracle knew cloud at that time. OCI was just starting, like OCI is Oracle Cloud Services. So what I did some courses from LinkedIn Learning and all that, and my team didn't have any cloud work. So the team I used to sit with, uh, so I actually was in Bangalore for 8 years, and then I wanted to work uh, near my house, which is in Kanpur. So I moved to Noida as a remote person, still working with the team which is in Bangalore. And in Noida, I used to sit with the team which had cloud work. Okay, and they also didn't know anything on the cloud. So I said, okay, I have done a lot of training. Let me help you out. Even though I didn't know anything, I still played them. I took their roles. I'm doing my task and I'm doing their task just to get some hands-on stuff. Right? That's how I learned cloud. Okay, so you need to understand, like you within company also, like so one very few of you actually pinged me on LinkedIn and said you wanted to work for free also. That's a very good attitude. Work for free. Join internship anywhere. Don't sit idle. Okay, because like I said, you can learn all these technologies and everything, but actual debugging, actual problem solving, all these things you'll not get through lead code, and you'll get this only when you actually start working, right? Because lead code, you will never see logs. Like when you run big softwares in companies, something goes wrong, you have to search that needle in the haystack, what is going wrong. That kind of debugging, installation when you're doing installation, setting up some stuff, something is not working, you have to research, you have to find out all those things you can't do on lead code, right? You can do that. You learn all these things, integration, how to build architecture in reality. You can do all those things only when you work for when you solve some actual problem. Do internship somewhere or start your own startup, you start your own project, do something hands-on. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so now we come to resume, the main highlight of today. What is a good resume? Any questions to this point? Sorry, I didn't ask for questions. Yeah, we can take questions now. I think we are just about time finishing, but yeah. Any questions till at this point? Anyone? Please unmute yourself and ask. Okay. So what is a good resume? So before understanding what is a good resume, you need to understand uh, who sees your resume in a company. So there are two people or two roles who process your resume. One is the recruiter, who's the like first person who sees your resume, and the second person is hiring manager. Okay, so what does a recruiter want when he's processing or seeing your resume? First of all, your resume should be easy to process. A lot of you have sent me files with resume.pdf, and that has been very painful for me. I have to do additional work. I have to rename the resume, put your name in it, because I have already 10 files with the resume.pdf. That's like your UX for your resume is very bad, right? Your user experience, me as a recruiter, is very bad for your resume, right? You need to learn these things from a point of view of a recruiter, right? Give him, first of all, this is one example. Other thing is when I open resume, I don't find number called experience, number of years of experience anywhere. I have to do calculation. Ki bhaiya, first year is this, last year is this, have to do plus minus all that. I have to, as a recruiter, I have to see. I'm not a recruiter, but I'm telling you by putting myself in the shoes of a recruiter. Ki These are the perils. Like a recruiter has to process hundreds, at least 100 resume a day. He'll go mad. First impression of seeing your resume, he'll throw away your resume. कि नाम भी नहीं है, experience भी clearly is not there. He can't like make out what the profile is about. A skill section. Some of you put skill section on the second page. But yeah, as a recruiter, I need to see the summary of your profile immediately on the first line of your resume. You should like a good resume should immediately tell the recruiter in the first view what your resume is about, what skills, what are your skill set. Always put number one top section of the resume, put summary of the resume, one line summary. I'm a polyglot developer working extensively in Java, Python, Go, with 3-year industry experience. Just this is very good for a recruiter. He understands your skills, he understands your experience. That's it. That's what he wants. Name your files properly. Rahul Gupta, Go Lang, Go 10 years experience. I'll rename my file like this. This is for like somebody who's recruiting for Go. If he's recruiting for Java, I'll give the same resume, but I'll put Java instead of Go in the name of the file, right? So I'm making recruiter's life easy. So that's important. So recruiter, how does recruiter, what does the recruiter need when he is processing your resume? First of all, he wants to see your experience, that number, right? Because hiring managers told me I need people with more than 5-year experience. So that number should be clearly visible in your resume, in the top section of your resume. Next thing he sees is keyword, because recruiter, there is one person in the company or a team of few persons who hire everyone in the company, right? The sales guy, they will process sales resume, they will process finance resume, they will process tech resume, they will process, right? So they are not experts, they are not like coders, right? So they don't understand like what is Kafka, what is we call that stack. They understand keywords, which hiring manager gives. Ki, I want resume for these technologies. So those technologies are like black boxes, keywords for them. So they look for those keywords in your resume. If they find those keywords early on in your resume, clearly in the top section of resume, they'll see, yeah, there's a match. This seems relevant, right? And they'll pass that resume to hiring manager. So that's how it works. That's why your resumes are not getting shortlisted. I hope a lot of people understand now why their resumes don't get shortlisted. Okay. So you need to understand that you need to answer this question. Can a recruiter see a level of match of your resume with the job description? If he sees the intersection, he'll shortlist your resume. If he'll not see the intersection, he'll throw away your resume. Okay. So out of 20 resumes, maybe he processes 100 resumes in a day. Out of that, he'll send 20 of those to hiring manager, and then hiring manager, out of those 20, he'll shortlist some 5 of them for interview. Okay, that's how this whole funnel works. Okay, so now what does the hiring manager see in your resume? First of all, again the same thing. Is there an intersection of skills with your JD? Another thing that he'll see is the depth in your resume. Ki bhai, if you put just screwdriver in the resume and not the whole toolbox, he'll reject your resume. At least somebody who's showing the whole toolbox, I'll hire him, right? General common sense, right? This guy knows more. He knows more tech, right? So you see, always if you think from microservices architecture perspective, also, right? So you'll write some microservices in one language: C, Java, Golang, Node.js, whatever, right? Some front-end services, React, Angular, whatever, right? But there will be other components that you'll use, which are pre-packaged software, like all these databases that I told you about, or all these message queues that are there, right? Or the monitoring tools, or hundreds of tools which are there, which you use as softwares which are there, right? So if all those things are missing from your resume, then that means that you don't have any depth here, right? You're mostly faking your projects. How I quickly know what projects have you worked on? Those are fake or those are real? If you understand your whole stack, if you tell me about 10 technologies that you use along with C and how you use them, even during interview also, I understand you have actually, even though you might still be faking it, but it's still okay. Like everybody says that the whole product they would have just solved some 5 bugs, but they'll say, I've built the whole product. I can quickly tell whether he's lying or whether he's at least if he still has a good understanding, even though he would have just solved bugs, he will still get hired because he has a depth. in understanding, right? So that is one thing. Does your resume have a wow factor? So again, not trying to beat my own horn. I'm just I haven't actually. Yeah, I've just switched job once in my life, so not expert, but this is what I like, at least. So okay, yeah. So if you read my summary, right? Expert cloud native DevOps architect with more than 10 years experience in building and designing scalable products from ground up, both at startup and enterprise level. Right. So this is perfect. In one line, I'm telling you the experience that I have, the kind of roles I work in, and the kind of experience I have. I have experience both at startup and enterprise, right? And then I'm telling you about my skill set. Full stack engineer and polyglot developer, worked extensively in Golang, Java, Python, JavaScript, Perl, Python, PHP, right? So see, there are so many keywords I mentioned. And then even the skill sets, if you see, it's like full build up of keywords, right? You ask me about anything, I can like explain any topic in this uh, for 2 hours, because I have done courses on each and everything, right? I have a story, a project I can tell you where I use each one of these. Some of them I've actually not used. I'm just tweaking them, like all that Angular and React thing. Probably I've removed also here now. When I was interviewing, I put those keywords also because I wanted to get interviewed more, right? Because all that full stack engineers, they want Angular or React. I was mostly a backend engineer at Oracle, so I faked that stuff, right? So that is what I was meant by fake it till you make it. So um, if you interview more, at least you know like what people ask, right? So always have a very solid resume. At least you get shortlisted. Even if you fail in interview, that is okay. You fail in 10 interviews, 20 interviews, 30th interview, you succeed. That's fine. Okay, have patience and uh, uh, make a solid resume. Okay, so yeah, what is the wow factor that I wanted to talk about? That's the reason I opened my resume. So when you talk about your projects, I rarely see this. When you talk about your projects, in every project, try to provide a tangible link which the recruiter can open. The hiring manager, the recruiter won't do all this, but hiring manager will do this. Or the person who are taking your interview rounds, they will do this, right? They will click on these links. They'll see. So Oracle, I can give the link to the product, right? So I've given the link to the documentation of the features that I've worked on. My startup stuff, I gave links, right? That's my startup. When actually, at least when I was interviewing, this site was up. So I gave links to the pages. I even for the API platform that was there, I gave links and even the sample login also that if he wants to log in and try out. So this is what gives the wow factor to your resume, not 100, 500 plus lead code questions. Uh, I would say that is a waste of time. Reason being, when I interviewed, there's a master 200 questions list, Geeks for Geeks. If you go, most important interview questions, there's a 200. Everybody, at least in my circle, knows about that. So just those 200 questions are more than enough for in clearing all interviews. Maybe Google, I don't know, maybe not Google, but apart from Google, every interview you can clear. Microsoft, Amazon, any Tang, everything you can clear with those 200 questions. And even those 200 questions, you don't need to code. Just code 10 questions. I only coded 10 questions. Rest 200 questions, I went through pseudocode. I just built the approach, wrote the pseudocode, wrote the approach. That's it. I tried that out in a rest paper. That's it. Okay. So just that much is enough. Don't solve 500 questions in lead code. You don't need any time. Even fake it. Nobody's going to even check. If you, everybody, if you say, okay, you have a high ranking lead code, I don't think anybody will check that. Nobody has that much time to do that kind of due diligence. Okay, don't spend time there. Spend time in doing your own hands-on project. That will help. Yeah. Question? Anyone?
I want to say Rahul one regarding this point only. Actually, the HR of Paytm has screened my resume. So she has told you don't have any profile on that lead code part. So will not process your resume forward.
It's okay. One company might hire like that. I'll give you a list of 200 very good companies, like who are all pay masters. So try in those 199 companies. Don't go with Paytm if that is the
Yes,
attitude.
okay.
Make a lead code profile, solve 10 questions. What is the problem? Okay, one HR is acting that way, but that doesn't mean everyone will act that way. have a solid resume the way I'm telling you, you will get a lot of calls. Okay, because you are actually properly skilling yourself. You can actually, you even don't need a job. I gave you example of myself, right? I was earning 3 times my workers salary within a year of doing launching my own thing. Though it's like actually worked like a hardcore job, like one full year. I had to put my head down and work on that. That is a different thing. Right? So that could dedicate that. I could give that kind of dedication because I was not worried about getting a salary and all. Right, I was already getting a salary from Oracle. So so I can't say yeah, my situation was easy in that way, right? I understand your situation. You don't have a job. You're worried about it. It's okay. You keep on giving interviews, but try to do something at least 2 hours a day. You put in something of your own, right? You start that way. That's how I started. Okay, I'll start with 2 hours a day. It went from 8 to 3. That's fine because I got interested, got into flow, right? Okay, so yeah, quickly a few more things that I want to talk about, and also about the trainings. Yeah, just those who are leaving, please hold on for 5-10 minutes. I also want to talk about trainings that we are going to do. Okay, so this is done. This is done. So elements of a good resume quickly. So you should have a summary on the top first of all, right? You should have second section should always be skills table of skills, right? Where you give breakdown. No matter if you are in tech or any other domain, still you can like even project managers can like write similar things, right? Last time I was reviewing somebody's resume last meeting, a project manager's resume. Still, like project management has 5 different kind of areas. Risk management has its own softwares. Everything has its own software, so you can mention all those things, right? Experience with timeline, like job experience that you mentioned, it should be with timeline and with what tech skills and business skills you used. Okay, so same thing for project. You should give timeline, what tech skills you use, what business skills you use. Those are not there in my resume because my resume is already 3 page long. Okay, I had to shorten it, so I removed those things. Yeah, you guys mostly have fresher resumes. You don't have that long resume. So with projects also clearly mention tech skills, business skills. This helps the hiring manager to understand how much you are faking. At least he understands how much you have worked, where you have worked, all those technologies. So many projects I see, hospital management system. All those college projects are, don't mention please those kind of projects, those college projects. Everybody mentions the same thing: hospital management, library management. No, everybody knows you have just mentioned those things. Even if you have done it, I will still think you're just faking it. Okay, so mention something interesting. I created, give some golgappa.com. I created my own restaurant site. That still looks better. Even if you have created a restaurant site, write golgappa.com. Okay, something, do something creative. Okay, and if possible, give screenshots to whatever you develop. Put in the screenshots on Google Drive, create a link in your resume so that if hiring manager wants to validate, he can like click on that and validate. Okay, so this is how you need to be creative with your resume. Okay, that's the wow factor I was talking about. Okay, so this was all about resume. Okay, since we are like running out of time, so I'll just quickly take questions at the end only. Okay, so clearing interview, what is important? Confidence is the most important thing. I have like passed candidates into the next round, even if they were not able to solve anything. As in, they were not able to code the problem that I gave, but at least they had the approach right, or they had the confidence and they showed the depth in their resume. I still passed them, right? So confidence and depth is the most important thing, and those things come only where knowledge and actually implement using that knowledge, which is actually building something using that knowledge that you acquire. Okay, so just doing those courses on LinkedIn will not help. Actually, using the knowledge that you learn from those LinkedIn courses will actually help. Okay, in my case, I didn't go to LinkedIn in the first place because I was working at Oracle. I had a good salary. I was trying to build something of my own. I had to build logo. I went to LinkedIn Learning, learned the Photoshop program, I came and drew the logo. I had to create mockups in Illustrator. I went to LinkedIn Learning, learned Illustrator, created the mockups for my website, right? So that's how I work. So I work the actual way. That's how it should be, right? You should be building something. When you need some tool, you go and learn that tool. That's how it should be, right? So you know, these 20 tools are there. I have to build this. Okay, now I need to learn wireframing. Okay, wireframing, balsamic tutorial. So you learn balsamic, you do wireframing, right? Mockup, you learn Illustrator, Photoshop, you do mockup. HTML, CSS, okay, HTML, CSS courses, learned HTML, CSS, created HTML, CSS. Now I need to integrate it in a web framework. Okay, I did some research. Okay, WordPress looks good. I have to do this development there. Learn PHP, learn WordPress, embedded my HTML, CSS into WordPress templates, right? That's how I work. That's how you should do it. Start with the actual problem that you're trying to solve, okay? And then learn stuff around that. What you are doing is the opposite thing. You're just going to learning concept. LinkedIn Learning also, you did 20 courses and you are trying to get hired, right? So that you might get lucky, but that's difficult, right? Because all these things will not show up during interview. The confidence will not be there because you haven't actually built something. And you again, the other important thing nowadays that everybody is looking for is the cross-functional engineer requirement. You need to be all-rounder. So you need to know how to write test cases. You need to understand what is CI/CD. You need to know a little bit of DevOps. You should understand how to write your own Docker images for your microservice, right? So all those things, if you know, those gives a extra boost to your resume. Because everybody is needing those things are needed right now. Everybody is developing that way only in the industry. Okay. So how do finally last thing, how do you get the practical knowledge? Find what you love. Okay. First of all, most important thing, solve the problems that you love to solve. Okay. Build, do a lot of coding, build something. Okay. Build actual projects, working projects. You never know. You might even have to find a job also, maybe a year from now. Maybe what you build will itself give you more than the salary that you are searching for. Okay. So this is the funda that I live by. Okay. Every day add a small drop to the bucket. Okay. Or every day take a small step. Okay. So every day, even if half of an hour also you can devote towards this, that is fine. You start some project, you at least devote some contribution, make some small contribution. Someday you'll work for 5 hours, someday you'll work for 5 minutes. That's totally fine. But every day there should be some measurable contribution going. There should be one step forward. Okay. And start. This is the latest thing. Start using ChatGPT and other ChatGPT 4 and other models. They are very powerful. Start using even for building. Also start using them. Okay. I've started using ChatGPT for teaching. Okay, and even for my office work also I use ChatGPT. That LinkedIn post that you saw, that was written by ChatGPT. Okay, so you start using ChatGPT because now what you could do earlier in 5 months, you can do in 1 month using ChatGPT. Okay. Finally, action plan, reskill yourself, keep on interviewing, choose a business idea and start working on that in parallel to your job hunt. Okay, finally, who am I? How can I help? I'll talk about that now in my trainings. Your job. Okay, I think I've already told a bit about myself. So I'll skip that. Yeah, some people ask why am I helping people? Why am I like into investing so much time? What is my, because everybody is about something in it, right? So what is in me in all this? What am I selling, right? So the reason I do this is because I started teaching. I love to teach. I always wanted to. That's my retirement plan actually. That I wanted to become a teacher when I retire. And I think I was thinking sometime back, I should do PhD maybe, which will probably help me when after 45. Then I thought, I'm an entrepreneur, so why should I get a PhD? If I want to teach, I'll start teaching. And that's how I started, right? So during my depression, I started mentoring people, and I saw that that's how I can like do life-changing social work, because if you give somebody money or do some like charity somewhere, that's not meaningful, right? But if you get somebody to earn, like somebody who can't like earn, and you elevate him to that level, you skill him that to that level that he can earn a handsome salary, then that will be a life-changing thing for him. And that's one of the dream projects for me. Okay, so and that's I'm not actually selling it; it's free only. So don't worry, I'm showing you a website and I'm showing you something. But this is sort of the dream project for me. So what I'm doing here is this is one training that I've started, which I do for all bachelors, BA, BSc, BCom, anybody, right? Regular bachelors in small cities. I live in Kanpur also. That's another thing. So I'm a remote worker, by the way, and I work after COVID. I've like permanently settled in Kanpur. So I love small cities. I've fed up of metro. So I have to. This is the problem I'm trying to solve. Okay, how do I help all these local guys, right? All the BA, BSc folks, and this is my answer to that. So I've just so this is like 3 month training where it's like a mini BTech, and you can go into any of these roles, all these creative, technical, or semi-technical roles which are there in the IT industry after doing this course, because this course actually gives you just the basics, like just the foundations. Okay, so like like first all the technical stuff, right? Because everybody has to understand how computers work end to end, the holistic view, right? So how I started with like parts of computer, what is computer, parts of computer, and then the computer architecture that you study in BTech, right? And then what is operating system? Because hardware ke upar you'll need some software, which is operating system, right? So then operating system will next come programs, how programs work, right? Then I teach them Linux. Then I teach them basics of programming. What is programming? Python, some basic Python I'll teach. Then I'll go into some advanced Python, object-oriented Python, and all that, right? So then they'll finally, as a lab, every uh, week they have an assignment, and each assignment builds on the next one. So if you miss this one, you will not be able to do the next one. If the first assignment you will install Linux, if you don't install Linux and you don't set up the development environment, you will not be able to write programs, right? So everything is linked together. So if you miss assignments, then you are F word. Now, okay. So uh, yeah, then how internet works, how do computer networking, then how does browsers work, what is server programming, web programming, then web framework, databases, then finally the non-technical stuff. What is how the process of software development, all that, right? Then I go into even the project management, OKR. I don't know if you guys know about it, but that's a project management concept. So OKR framework, Jira software, how do you use that? Scrum Master. If you do this course, you can even find a job as a Scrum Master. I go to that level, right? So even if you like don't like tech, but you have some understanding of tech, you can go in all these roles, product management, all that, whatever. So this is the course, the dream course that I'm trying to do. This is what I want to do apart from like my regular stuff. This is the sort of social work, my social work actually. And then another course that I run, which is this course also started when Oracle started laying off. Okay, so I started doing this course for the Oracle folks only. So this was for the people who got laid off from Oracle. So first, I've done 3 batches of this course, and this one I've just done one batch. Okay, so I'll just give you like how effective is this course, right? I'll just give you an example. The top student from the first course, he got fired from Oracle at 16 lakhs, and he got hired back in Oracle at 41 lakhs. Though he didn't succeed in like getting the job because during the joining ground, some policy came up within 1 year Oracle can't rehire. So finally he settled for Tech Mahindra 35 lakhs. And now currently he has like 25 people under him. He has switched actually. He's in Ernst and he's like the assistant director, I think, or something. He was senior to me actually. And he was working in some very legacy product in Oracle, and he switched his profile completely to cloud. So not just this course. This course just gave him the starting point. After this, I guided him. He did some Amazon and Oracle certifications, actually cloud certification. So I'm not saying you just do this course, you'll find a job, but all these courses, this one or this one, will give you the starting point. So both these courses, like what I teach is most of all layman stuff. Like I start from zero, and then I build on it. So if you are from non-IT domains and you want to enter in IT, this will be a very good course for you. Non-CSV techs, right? If you want to search jobs in IT domain, you can take this training. And all the CS folks, right? Computer science folks, you should do this training definitely, because here what I teach is mostly microservices architecture and what is Docker, Kubernetes, what is going on in cloud, like all those cloud technologies. So you can, there's a matrix also, skill matrix that you can copy to your resume after doing this course. Both the courses have a skill matrix. Okay, you can check this out. Okay, so I'll give, these courses are linked in the description. So if you click on the apply now, there will be a Google form that will open up for the application. Okay, so it's a very like intensive. Every month you need to spend 15 to 20 hours. Acha, one more thing, there's no course, no fee for the course. It's completely free, but there will be a security deposit of 2,000 rupees, which will be returned to you at the end of the course. If you don't complete assignments during the course, your security deposit will be forfeited. If you miss one or two classes, I'm sick or something, emergency is there, you miss classes, that is fine. But if you miss a lot of classes, then your security deposit will get forfeited. Why I'm doing this? Because what I've noticed in my past batches, I'll start with 30 students. On the last day, I'll have like 12 students. So all those 18 seats get wasted unnecessarily because I used to like take exactly 30 students. I ran it in that super 30 format. So there's a poster also for this course, the other one, which is like super 30 poster. I'll share that on the group if you want to share that with your friends. Okay, so so there'll be a security deposit which will be refunded at the end of the course. This is only to make sure you do the course if you attended. Okay, and just don't like sign up कि हाँ अभी अच्छा लग रहा है कर देते हैं sign up free तो है. Okay, so yeah, I think this is where I'll stop. So any questions, anyone? We'll talk now. अरे अरे पूछो भाई क्वेश्चन. लास्ट बैच में तो मुझे लोग बोलने ही नहीं दे रहे थे. इस बैच में तो लास्ट मीटिंग में तो so many questions. नींद आ रही है क्या सबको? Any questions, anyone, about everything that I talked about? First of all, am I audible? Yes or no?
Yeah, you are properly audible.
चलो आवाज तो आई. मुझे पता था I'm audible. Just asking. Speak out. Okay. Any questions, anyone? Okay. Yeah, no questions then. Very good. Good
So
night.
Abhishek is asking some question like classes are
Oh, on
classes
chat?
like only.
One second. Yeah, classes will be live only. It's a intensive thing. So I'll work with like 2 to 3 months with you guys if you want to do this. Okay. So classes will be live on Zoom the way I'm teaching right now. And this course, IT Masterclass, it's a 3 month course. And actually, it is, if you see the classes, it's around two months I can do the classes. But I've seen that people who are coming from non-IT, they need more time. So I give them like more time to solve assignments and all. So it usually gets stretched to 3 months. Okay, so this is a 3 month course, and this one, the cloud course, is a 2 month course. Okay, timings. There's no fixed timing, but I think this time I'm getting a lot of. If you see in the group, a lot of folks are from US also. So it will always be in weekends because weekdays I also have a full-time job. So either Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday night. Probably will do it at night this time. Previously, I used to do it in the evening, but even weekends I also travel a lot, and I go out for cycling and all. So I think the night time will be better. So the classes will be usually I have a one theory class, 2 to 3 hour class once a week. Sometimes it happens that I'm not able to complete the concepts in one class. Then class will get broken into like 2 classes during the weekend. So weekend, when I say weekend, it means Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, so time. And I'm planning to this time run both the courses in parallel. Till now, I've never done this, but now, like since I've already taught this, I don't have to do all that research and all that in preparing the course. So I'm assuming that I can run this quarter, I can run these courses in parallel. Okay, so courses will run in parallel. So but you can join only one. So if you are from CS background, you can go for cloud course. If you are from non-IT or non-core CS thing, you can go for this other course. Okay, but I won't allow anyone in both the courses. And CSIT folks, I don't even allow in this course. Okay, BTech IT, BTech CS, I don't allow. Okay, so timings, that is about the like course, main course, and then during weekdays there will be a 1 hour help session, the practical session, where I'll help you guys with the issues that you are facing during doing the assignment. Okay, so all those issues I'll clarify. So yeah, that's the format it will work on. Okay, so if you want to do any of these courses, you just go to the site skillcenter.io, go to the courses section. You'll see both these courses. So this is a platform I'm building on this social idea. Ki anybody can, like I see so many people who want to help and contribute to society. And so this general idea that I have, I'm just trying to, instead of PhD, I'm going this route, the entrepreneur route of solving this problem. Okay. So that's why you are seeing this website. Okay, there's no payment. It's completely free. I'm not into business. Okay, I'm not doing business. It's a charity work. It's not a business. So, okay. Any other questions? Anyone?
Sorry, I have a question. The
Yeah.
career in the IT masterclass
Sorry?
is the career in the IT masterclass course.
Yeah.
Does that involve any coding or because I do see that there is a you know software tester or
No, see, if you go in IT, right, like I explained you during the whole thing, right, you need to understand the holistic view. You need to understand what is coding, right? You shouldn't fear coding. You should like. I have like VSP people who actually got hacker rank certification after this course. So there are two students actually from my current batch. I just have done one batch only, and they are both non CS BTechs. Okay, they hadn't coded in Python before, and I think hacker rank, if you solve some large number of problems, they give you some certification. So first a boy, like he told me that he got the academic certification. Then another girl from the batch, she came back that she also got that certification. So it's easy. I'm telling you, don't fear. Like I see fear that I have to code. The reason you have to code is because you need to understand like how stuff works, right? What is IT? Because even if you go for non-technical role like product manager, let's say, right? Product manager, he never codes, right? In IT, those are all semi-technical roles. But he has to have an in-depth of technology, right? So at least that's to build that foundation, you need to learn. Okay. So even project manager needs to understand, right? What is coding? What are testers? What is code coverage? Like project manager always go into code coverage, right? That's a key part of their job. They need to do security testing, the security code testing using Fortify or what's the other tool? I forgot. So those are all tasks of project manager. If you don't know coding, so you don't understand what is coding or what is involved in coding, then how will you do your job as a project manager? You get my point, right? So even to
Right.
do these non-technical jobs, you need to have some foundation. And this is the reason I'm spending like 7 or 8 weeks into all these things. Because when you do web programming, you have to do Photoshop, right? You have to do mockups, you have to do graphic design when you have to do your project. So there, in all these 4 weeks, actually, it's just a class. But there's a project going on since last like 1 month. There is a project, which is your own startup. So all these members which were there in the, they did their own idea. I asked them to do their own startup idea. So they did their own project actually. So like one of the girl in my last batch, she did very good mockups. Like I clearly told her that she should go in graphics design. Like she learned Photoshop and um, she was sincere. Like she's solving all the assignments, but I was like literally blown with her design skills. Like she was very creative. The mockups that she created, I really like those mockups, the color combination and everything. So the reason you do everything here is because I'm trying to identify. So what I do after this course, what I've done for these students which completed the course, only for those who completed, I did the one-to-one counseling also, going through what they did in their project. So that way I was able to guide them if they should go into technical, semi-technical, or the creative roles in IT. So if you see, these roles are, some of them are like core technical roles, some are semi-technical, and some are creative roles. Okay. Like UX designer, graphic designer, these are sort of creative, I would say. Product manager, project manager, scrum master, SEO, these are semi-technical, and then tester and coder and designer, developer, these are all technical ones, right? So to understand, to do your counseling, to help you, like you need to have the foundation. This course is just the foundation, right? So everybody does the BTech, right? Why? Everybody learns coding, learns networking, operating system, and all these things, because those are all the foundations.
Right. Understood. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anyone? Any other question? Okay, so I'll stop here. It's late. Yeah, last class I did review a lot of resumes, more than 20 resumes. I did one review, but I think today it's already late right now. So I also have work tomorrow. So we'll have a separate resume review session later. I'll announce in the group. Okay, sometime later this week we'll have it. Before that, based on whatever tips I gave, do update your resume based on taking in that feedback. Okay. Okay, sure. Thanks everyone. Then I'll stop here.